Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Histories in Miniatures video. You might be able to tell by my very haggard look that things have been rough lately. I've had a few weeks in hospital with my little boy. He's out now, he's fine, but good lord, am I tired. So this is rough and ragged looking Stephen. But on the plus side, I found my granddad's beret from back in the war times. Sadly, no cap pins. You can see the holes where they went though. But today, to cover the hair, I'll be doing the video in a fancy hat. Well, during my downtime, I was lucky enough to see Fury, the movie, and there's one thing that kind of stuck out to me, that infamous Sherman tanks versus Tiger tank scene.
Right check, taking the right flag. I'll smash. Get on it! Nice, seal. Come to
I just kind of found it very interesting, and I think, just wanted to talk about my take on things here, because it's kind of a bit of a debate, I think, about Shermans versus Tigers, blah, 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 blah. Few points, okay? Point number one about Shermans versus Tigers. There was a lot more Sherman tanks, like mass-produced Sherman tanks. Do you know how many Tigers there were? 1,300. So, before we even get into versus, let's just look at production and viability. There was more Sherman tanks. That's a good thing. Secondly, the Tiger is heavier, is slower, has better armour, and has a bigger gun. True, that's an advantage Tiger. Sherman is quicker. Advantage. Lighter armoured, not an advantage. Has a shorter gun that struggles to penetrate, not an advantage.
They got Peterson! God!
The British went, we need to have some kind of tank killer. So they did, and they nicknamed it the Firefly. So Sherman tanks that came with fireflies would have fireflies would have an advantage as well. So if we start taking those things into account, there's less Tigers, vastly less. They're slow, vastly slower. Their guns are bigger, true, but it can be compensated by the Shermans. Equally, by this point in the war, when Fury is set, they had like armour-piercing rounds in for their tanks, which would have also evened the odds. Sure, they only probably had about 1 or 2 per tank, but if you could imagine three Shermans versus 1 Tiger, 3 or 4 Shermans versus 1 Tiger, the Tiger gets a surprise shot, takes one out. Because again, the Tiger was designed for defence, really. It wasn't a great mobile vehicle. It wanted to sit down low and get something, take shots, form a gun line kind of thing. So, the Tiger takes the first shot, hits it, knocks it out. You've then got 3 tanks responding. All of them at that range in the movie, and I know it's a movie, it's dramatic effect, would hit at that range. It's pretty much point blank shots. Equally, the Sherman has gyro stabilizers on their gun turrets, so it's even more likely to hit. So in reality, that particular movie scene would have been bang, tank taken out. The other 3 tanks turn around, bang, bang, bang. Yes, in a fight one-on-one, Tiger, great deal. Superior machine, in a way. But there wasn't enough of them. It wasn't designed well.
Now! Forward!
It doesn't make sense. They're 2 completely different things. Equally, a Tiger is like a big, heavy anti-tank. Like a heavy tank, super heavy, like a heavy tank. As a Sherman, it's like a medium tank. It's designed to be supported infantry, to support infantry. They're not designed for the same thing. They're not like equal. It's like you're not comparing 2 different rifles here. You're comparing 2 completely different things. It's like comparing a rifle to a crossbow. They're not designed for the same thing. Brain, words. The other thing is that at this point in the war, I mean generally in the war anyway, all vehicles, all tanks and things, you were designed, it was combined arms, so you'd have infantry alongside armour. You wouldn't just have armour going off and doing a thing. It wasn't really their role. You had scout and recon sort of stuff, but Shermans you'd have advancing with infantry. Tigers you'd have on the defensive, which was their role, on the defensive with infantry. So the idea of like the Sherman versus Tigers versus Shermans, it's movie magic and it's movie fluff, but it's not really relevant, I guess, as a question. It's not really a great or very interesting question. So yeah, sorry, a bit of an anticlimax really, I guess, on this one. But that's the thing. the real question should be, what was kind of an equivalency? What did Shermans come up against a lot? What were they designed to fight against? And the Stug 3, I'd say, is probably that one. So maybe in another video at some point I'll kind of do Shermans versus Stugs, which I think would be actually more interesting and more relevant. But the Tiger, heavy, defensive, slow, designed to hunker down, ambush. Work in packs of 4, you're going to shoot the one at the back, block their exits, make sure they can't fan out and attack and flank. Shermans used to work alongside infantry, a very good supportive vehicle. Tigers versus Shermans is a weird question. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Sorry, I'm so exhausted. Sorry this was a bit late. Just, see you in the next one.